Hello, my dear friends. Greetings of the day. And on behalf of the channel that is Hospitality Education PPT, I welcome you all to this new session, which is based on Yield and Hotel Revenue Management Part 5. And under this lesson today, we are going to discuss another one very vital phase of this revenue management, that is strategic and tactical price decisions in hotel revenue management. We will try to discuss and understand about the rack rate calculation, then different pricing approach, mainly the Hubbart formula approach, and what are the various discounts offered while selling a room. So all these things will be our point of discussions today. Already we have covered 4 very vital lessons on this revenue management. Hopefully you have gone through it. If not, once again you can go to the channel and go to the series one by one. You will understand the subject very clearly, and I am very sure that you will be able to understand it. First of all, if there are some challenges to understand it, definitely put your questions in the comment box. I will give you the proper required answer for that and justification for that. So, why to wait? Let us begin. Two most important strategic levers of revenue management will be, one is time, that is duration, and another one is price or the rate. These are the two important aspects of revenue management. You know the definition: right time, right price, right customer. All these things is a part of the revenue management decisions. In case of time management, we have to take certain precautions, because the first one is reduce arrival uncertainty. Why it is so? Many times it may happen that the customer has booked the room, but on the day they are not coming. And if the guest is not coming, and ultimately room is perishable, if you cannot sell it to the guest on that very moment, any new guest rather, then obviously your room will remain unsold. And that will be a kind of loss you are going to suffer. So many customers, many guests are already, they are booking the hotels, but you have to ensure that there is no uncertainty for that. How we can do that? While at the time of booking, first one, you can see that to require credit card guarantee. Whenever you will be booking in advance, you always take the credit card guarantee for the guest. So naturally, in that way, you can reduce the arrival uncertainty. To call the guest and remind them about their booking. On the day of arrival, at least 1 day or 2 days before, you can easily call the guest and ensure that and remind him that he is coming on so and so date. So in that way, you can easily say that, sir, you are having booking with our hotel for so many days. Tomorrow your day of arrival. Are you sure you are still coming? Just a reminder, and that will ensure that whether that room the guest is coming or not, so that you can have enough time in your hand to sell that room to another customer or guest as per the requirement. So that is another way you can reduce the uncertainty. Another one is to impose cancellation penalty. Obviously, if I have booked a room and on the day I am not coming, so definitely there will be some cancellation charge imposed on me. Okay, that way you can also reduce that arrival uncertainty, and you can use the overbooking process to reduce the no-show rate. and this is totally based on your history. If you look back the history for past 1 week, 1 month, you can see that on which day the guests are coming more or they are cancelling more. Accordingly, if you see that your average cancellation is 10%, then automatically what you can do is that you can book extra 10% to overcome that cancellation on the last moment. You got my point? So to use overbooking to reduce the no-show rate. In that way, you can reduce the no-show rate. So this is one way you can reduce the arrival uncertainty. There is another one. What is that? To reduce the length of stay uncertainty. Many times a situation occurs that the guest, suppose the guest has booked the room for 3 days and suddenly on second day they say that today I am going to check out. So if he is checking out on the second day, you are losing the customer because already he booked for 3 days and he is only paying for 2 days because he wants to check out today. So that we have to overcome. How to overcome that? You have to impose an early departure fee. You can easily go. You can check out early, no problem. But there will be one early checkout or departure fee will be imposed on it. That is sure that if the room is vacated today, though it is booked for 1 day more, I can resell that room to the guest. But there is uncertainty, and I cannot let my room go without any customer unsold. So naturally, what we can do, we can impose some departure fee, early departure fee on the customer or the guest. We can also take another one option to ask the guest initials on a departure date at the check-in time. Now, how we can overcome that? At the time of check-in, suppose the guest is checking in now, and he can see that he has booked the hotel room for 3 days. At the on the date of his checkout, he can request the customer that please will you please kindly sign out here, that is your departure date. So what you are doing exactly, you are reminding the guest that your room is booked up to this date, from this date to that date. So that in that way also you can reduce the length of stay uncertainty. Another one option is that to remind the guest about the duration of stay supposed to be. You can also ensure and verbally say that, sir, thank you very much for taking the room, booking the room in our hotel, and I'll just remind you that your stay is supposed to be for 3 days and you are going to check out on so and so day. This reminder will also reduce the length of stay uncertainty. So in that we can manage the time. So whenever you get sufficient time in your hand, you can give the effort to sell that room to another customer. You got my point. So that's why time is another one lever for revenue management. There is another one option we can always adopt, that is to reduce the amount of time between customers. What is that? First of all, to set up official check-in and check-out time. And in the bracket I have mentioned that limited timetable. Same option is also available for, can be utilized for restaurant revenue management. Suppose your checkout time is 12 o'clock and your check-in time will be say 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So you are getting 2 hours time in your hand to recover that room, to get it ready, because your housekeeping staff will get the time sufficiently in their hand to make that room ready. Your maintenance staff will look after the maintenance issues with that room. Everything will be taken care of in that 2 hours, and the room will be ready for letting it further. So if your checkout time is 12 noon, then your check-in time should be at 2 hours after, that is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, and you can also do that, impose early check-in and late checkout time fee. What is that? Suppose today my official checkout is at 12 noon. Now I said that I will be last night. So tomorrow at 12 noon I'll be checking out. But due to some requirements, I want to check out today. Say last evening you have mentioned that. So already your booking is for tomorrow up to tomorrow 12 noon. So this time, as because they are checking out early, you can impose a fee on them. Same with check-out time and check-in time. You got my point? Suppose my check-in time 2 o'clock today and I have arrived to your hotel at 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. I want that room. So as I have arrived early, so naturally I have to put some fees for that. So in that way you can recover you can get your revenue earned. You can resell that room early. You got my point. So you have to impose early check-in and late check-out fees. Okay, understood it? Fine. Now let us see the price management. What price to charge? Because we are having two leverage. One is the time duration that we have mentioned. We are having another one area that is price. How we can do that? What price to charge? First one is a competitive pricing. What is competitive pricing? In the city, in the nearby area, now what are the hotels are there? And I can rate my hotel with their hotel's rate. That what is my positioning in the city among all these hotels. So what we can do is that we can make a list, a tab sheet of this kind. I'll just show you. Within few seconds it will be appeared on the screen. Yes, like this. Hotel comparison sheet. Here we are having all the facilities listed there, and here you can see that all hotel names are there. Hotel 1, Hotel 2, Hotel 3, Hotel 4, Hotel 5. Now, point to point, if you check one of the facilities and compare it with the other hotels, if your facility is better than the hotel, you give 1 point to your hotel. If it is away better than the other hotels, then give 2 points or 3 points to your hotel. If your hotel standard is somehow in compared to that facility is not that up to the standard, then give -1 point. And similarly, if your hotel is way below the standard, then you give -2 or -3 points. Like that, you go on plotting your hotel against all the facilities in compared to other hotels. And as a result, at the end, you will get the points. And accordingly, you can justify where your hotel stands in compared to other hotels in the city. Once you know that, accordingly you can go for the competitive price. Okay. Now next is demand based pricing. We all know that when there will be demand, the price will be more. When the demand will be less, then price will be also less. That is the thing we follow in revenue management. Then we know we are having a reference pricing. We can promote, to promote the sale of the room, we can go for super sales. We can go for industry rates, because the industry throughout the year we are having business with them. So this is the, suppose one organization they ask for the rooms and we require 10 rooms throughout the year, anytime it will be kept free for us, and negotiable rate is this. So that is a negotiation, that rate is also there. We can have a different kind of price rate with them. Early bird price, suppose we are giving 30 days time with it. If 30 days before you can book the room, you will be getting so much of discount. So that is also early bird price rate we can fix up. Similarly, the credit card promotions. So these are the options we can adopt to price. We are having different prices for different rooms and different strategies. Okay. Similarly, who pays which price? Number one is the physical rate fences. We are having different fences. What is that? It may be, especially in a resort hotel, if the room is a sea view room, then definitely the charge will be different. If the room is having different kind of amenities, the charge will be different. If the room is having different kind of furnitures, different kind of locations, the charge will be different. So that is based on the physical rate fence, and we can charge accordingly. Product line rate fences. You can see nowadays, it is the example is given room type like mobile phones. You can see in the market every 6 months or 7 months or 3 months there is a new set of promotion. Mobile phone is coming. Say I'm not mentioning any brand name. Say this is a brand name X is of hotel X1, X2, X3 with little added facilities over there. Almost very similar because in our case also in hotel the room remains the same. We cannot change the size of the room. We cannot change the location of the room. But you have to charge different product line. We can create it accordingly, and it can be in different floors. It can be with a different kind of decor. So these kind of fences we can adopt, and product line will be different. Okay. Now next is the controlled availability rate fences. So as I mentioned already that corporate rates for the staff, many hotels they are also providing, if you are working under a particular brand, they can give you the facility as a staff that you can go to this country or this state and avail the hotel facilities with a discounted rate. We can also, for that case, that is a controlled availability, that rate is not available for the common guest, but it is only available for the staff. This corporate rate is only available for the corporates. Hotel app, if someone is using the hotel apps for booking the room, they'll also get a kind of discount. So their rate will be also different. You got my point? Similarly, by characteristics rate fences, non-refundable. Non-refundable means many times we book the room hurriedly, and so in that case, it will be non-refundable. You have to pay the entire thing, entire money for that, and it is non-refundable. In that case, also we can sell the room by following these kind of price tags, non-refundable price. Okay. Now, let us try to clarify the concept of our ADR and rack rate. We have heard of these two terms already. What is ADR for your understanding, refreshing your mind? ADR means average daily rate. Definition wise, what is this? The actual average rate earned per sold room over a specific period. That is the definition. What is the formula we adopt? Total room revenue divided by number of rooms sold. You get the ADR. ADR is the average daily rate. What does it reflect? The real world earning after discounts, promotions, and negotiated rates. Already I have discussed about different negotiations, different promotional rates, corporate rates, staff rates, and different discount rates. Also, we have discussed location wise, physical location wise. Okay, so this is the earning after. This is a real earning we are talking about. The ADR will give you the reflection of the real earning after providing discounts, promotions, and negotiated rates. This is very important. Remember that. That is ADR. ADR is basically the actual average rate earned per sold room over a specific period of time. Formula is total room revenue by divided by number of rooms sold. Okay, and it is after providing the discounts, promotion, and negotiated rates. Okay. Then what is rack rate? The rack rate is very important. Try to get the concept. The rack rate is the official published price for a hotel room, typically the highest rate offered before any discounts, promotions, or negotiated deals are applied. So rack rate is basically a published rate officially, which is much higher, and it is without any discount, promotions, negotiated deals, and are applied. So what is the difference between Sorry, ADR and rack rate. ADR is the real earning after providing discounts, promotions, and negotiated rates. Rack rate is the highest published rate without providing any discounts, promotions, and negotiation deals. Okay, that is the rack rate. There is a baseline price, means it sets the reference for all other rates, corporate, OTA. OTA means online travel agencies, packages, promotional rates. That means once you know the rack rate, if you want to provide any kind of discount for the corporate, for OTA, for package or promotion, it will be all based on your rack rate. That's why it is baseline price. Clear? Good. Before discount, it reflects the room's full price without any adjustment. That we have mentioned. ADR is after giving discounts, rack rate is not. Rack rate is before giving discounts. Fine. Rarely charged. Most guests book discounted rates, especially through online platforms or contracts. So this rate is not meant for the guest directly. It is the base price on which different kind of discounts are offered. Different kind of strategies are developed for selling rooms. Clear? Used in strategy, just now I have used the word. Helps hotel structure, offers and calculate revenue benchmark. So these are the effect of rack rates. Baseline price, it is offered, it is the price before the discounts. It is rarely charged to the guest, but it is act as a kind of baseline depending on which the strategy can be developed. Clear? That is the rack rate. Now, before we go in details further, we should have a very clear concept about the cost. First one, we are getting the incremental cost. What is that? Variable cost per room night. It is incremental cost is known as the variable cost per room night. What is that? Definition wise, the incremental cost is the additional expense incurred when one more room is sold. That means whenever a room is sold, that amount is incurred on that room. It includes only the variable cost directly tied to servicing that room. Once a guest is taking up a room for providing a service, whatever expenditure is involved in that, that is known as incremental cost. And it is totally a directly tied for the servicing, it is a variable cost. Let us try to explore the different kind of variable cost or incremental cost. First of all, electricity. Whenever a guest is taking up a room, these are the expenditures start occurring. Electricity, lights, TV, charging cell phones, AC or heaters, room heaters, all will be in operations. So that will be charged. Water will be utilized, washing hands, brushing teeth, showers, flushing toilets, all these things, water will be consumed. So water, for that also cost will be incurred. Wear and tear, what is that? You are walking on the carpet is getting damaged, definitely. Sleeping on the bed, so that also needs wear and tear. Turning doorknobs, using night bulbs, all these things, whatever service you are utilizing, that will be charged fractionally. Breakfast, whenever another room and breakfast is always attached, so breakfast, that cost is also there. Housekeeping, room must be cleaned after they leave, cleaning supplies used every day. Laundry, changing of sheets, towels, etc. All these things are coming under incremental cost. Now, let us take one example. If your hotel sold 10,000 room nights last year and spent 2 lakhs 50,000 on variable cost. That means all these areas we have incurred a cost, that is total is 2 lakhs 50,000 for 1 year. Then your incremental cost per room night will be 2 lakhs 50,000 divided by 10,000 nights, room nights, and that comes to rupees 25 only. This is for an example. This means every additional room sold cost rupees 20 to service, 25 to service. That means every time you sell a room, incremental cost 25 rupees will be consumed. This is as per this example. And what is incremental cost, that we know. When it will start occurring, once the room will be sold to a guest and guest will check in that room. Then onward the incremental cost will be activated. You got my point? That is the incremental cost. There is another one cost, which is known as burdened cost, or the total cost per room night. Total cost per room night. Earlier we have discussed about the variable cost. Now let us see. The burden cost includes both fixed and variable cost. Remember, incremental cost was based on only variable cost. In case of burden cost, it is a total cost. It is both including fixed and variable cost. It represents the true cost of operating a room per night, including overheads. So idea is clear. Let us see what are the burden cost. Staff involved, maintenance staff, front desk staff while booking a room, management staff, breakfast attendant. So the staff salary per day, that will be considered burden cost. Mortgage of the hotel, insurance of the hotel building property, internet facilities available, parking lot repair, because every day the parking lot is getting used, so that is also, that needs repairing, maintenance. New towels placed in the room, cable TV, for example, 200 rupees per room per month, regardless of your occupancy, whether that room is sold or not, you have to pay this. Marketing for selling that room, trade shows you conduct for promotion of sales, Chamber of Commerce membership that you have to pay, and all incremental cost. So these are all fixed cost, and all incremental cost is a variable cost. So all these things together will be giving you the burden cost. So incremental cost will be only effective once the guest is staying in that room, started staying in that room. Burden cost is basically whether you are letting that room or not, burden cost will be always there, because the staff will be always, you cannot engage staff once the guest is taking up the room. Staff is always allotted there, mortgage is always on, insurance is on, internet facility has to be there, available, parking lot is a continuous facilities, new tiles has to be there, cable TV is on. So all these things, whether you avail that, sell that room or not selling that room, burden cost will be there, and only all incremental cost will be also included in that. If the room is not sold, this incremental cost will be zero, or rest of the cost will be all there. Let us now take up one example. What is that? If your total annual operating cost, that means including variables and fixed cost, 48 lakhs, and you sold 10,000 rooms nights, then your burden cost per room night will be 48 lakhs divided by 10,000 room nights, that is rupees 480. What does it mean? This is the minimum rate you should aim to recover to cover all expenses and break even. That means below this rate you cannot sell a room, because it is including all your variable and fixed cost over there. If you sell it below that, it will be giving you that it will come to your break even. If you follow this rate only, 480 rupees, then it will help you to get the break even. You got my point? You are not going to suffer a loss. That's why very important to know the burden cost. Clear? If you are having any questions, please put that in the question box or the comment box. I'll give you the answer for that. Next is how to determine the rack rate. Once for all, it will be very clear to you. Let's assume the total fixed cost is 36 lakhs per year. Total variable cost is 12 lakhs per year. Total rooms for that particular hotel we are considering, that is 12 rooms are there. Operating days, it is operating for the entire year, that is 365 days. And you as a owner, your desired profit margin is 25%. You desire that. Okay, that is the assumption we are taking to understand this, how the racket is determined. First of all, calculate the burden cost. What is the burden cost out here? It is only the fixed and variable cost. So total annual cost will be 36 lakhs plus 12 lakhs, as is mentioned. Total is 48 lakhs. Cost per room divided by 12, that is 4 lakhs. Cost per room daily, 4 lakh divided by 365 days. So it is coming to 1095.89. That means it is equivalent to 1096. That means rupees 1096 will be your burden cost calculation depending on this information. Clear? Very simple. Step number 2, calculating the incremental cost. Assuming variable cost applied to all rooms sold. Variable cost already I mentioned 12 lakhs in the earlier slide. Now calculating it per room variable cost. Variable cost per room, same calculation, 12 lakhs divided by room number 12, it is 1 lakh. So variable cost per room daily divided by 365, it is coming to 274 rupees only. So that is your incremental cost. This is the incremental cost, the minimum cost incurred when selling one more room. That means whenever you are selling one room out of these 12 rooms, so we mentioned in this example, you have to incur 274 rupees per day, daily. Got my point? That is the incremental cost. Now, how much is the desired profit? 25%. We add 25% profit on the burden cost, because burden cost is combination of variable and fixed cost. So it is nothing to do with the incremental cost, because incremental cost is already there included in the burden cost, because burden cost is the total cost. You got my point? So we add 25% on burden cost. Burden cost, if you remember, it was rupees 1096 multiplied by 25%. It is again the figure is coming to rupees 274. So best rack rate will be your, this is the 1096 the burden cost plus your desired profit, that is 274. If you add on, it will be 1370 rupees only. That is your best rack rate. So this is the way rack rate is calculated. Got my point? If you have any questions, please put me there in the comment box. I will clear it up. Now let us do the reality check. What is the reality check? Rack rate versus cost floor. What are the different costs we have calculated? First component was the incremental cost. The amount is rupees 274. Then is burden cost. And the amount, if you remember, it is rupees 1096. Desired profit was also 274, though this figure and that figure is different. Amount is looking same, but does not mean that it is the incremental cost. It is a net profit, 25% desired profit. and that is, once you add this 1096 plus 274, the desired cost, desired profit, it comes to 1370. This is the figure, is your reality check. So what we can do that, understood from this, a discounted rate during low demand should never fall below 274, because 274 is the incremental cost. We cannot sell that room to a guest where the cost will be room price will be below 274. If it is below 274, we are not able to recover the incremental cost also from that room. You got my point? It should not be below that, and ideally it should not be below burden cost also. If it is below burden cost, then also you are going to suffer a loss. You got my point? Good. Now, establishing room rates. There are different approaches. First one is the market condition approach. What is that? Management looks at similar hotels in the area, like know your competitors and know your standard, follow that rule, and see what they are charging for the same product. That can be one of your options. The competition can be based on location, type, brand, or other factors. So you make a fact sheet and you compare the other hotels, same standard hotels, and find out your position of the brand in the market. According to this approach, the hotel will charge only what the market will accept. So that is a market condition approach. That means you visit through your information system, you get the information of other hotels, that standard room of this kind, what is the charge of that room, what kind of facilities they are providing, and where you stand in compared to their standards. Accordingly, you charge the room. So this is known as simply a market approach. There is another one approach. What is that? The rule of thumb approach. This is what, try to understand this. This method sets the rate of a room at rupees 1 for each 1000 rupees of construction and furnishing cost per room, assuming a 70% occupancy invested. For 1000 rupees 1, this 1000 is based on the cost of construction and furnishing of that room, considering 70% is the occupancy. Depending on that, you can calculate the room price or room rate. The emphasis on the hotel's construction cost fails to consider the effect of inflation. Obviously, maybe your hotel is say 30 years old or 40 years old. That time the market value and this time the market value is different. So this approach fails to consider the effects of inflation. It also fails to consider the contribution of other facilities and services towards the hotel's desired profit. Suppose by the time in your hotels you have given so many extra facilities over there in compared to the standard, so that is not also getting calculated. It is very much a fixed kind of concept. Rupees 1 for each 1000 rupees you invest on a room for construction and furniture. Only that much they are covering, considering 70% occupancy throughout the year. So this rule of thumb approach will clarify this with the example to make it more clear in front of you. And another one approach is Hubbart formula approach. It is a bottom-up approach for pricing rooms. This approach considers operating cost, desired profits, and expected number of rooms sold to determine the average rate per room. This is also a projected. So our formula is also used for to define, to establish the projected room rate, strategically calculated room rate, depending on all these desired factors. That is desired profit, operating cost, expected number of rooms to be sold throughout the year. All these considerations, based on that, the Harvard formula approach is utilized, and it is the most popular approach throughout the world. So what is rule of thumb approach saying? This method sets the room rate at rupees 1 for every 1000 rupees of investment per room, assuming 70% occupancy. The simplest way it is mentioned. Let us take one example for a 3-star hotel and estimating the room rate for 3-star hotel. Let's say each room in your proposed property cost, construction plus furnishing cost per room is 30 lakhs. Let us consider this amount. Estimated room rate per night according to this guideline 1 rupees per thousand. So if you divide this amount by 1000 rupees, your rate is coming around 3000. So that is the estimated room rate per night. This assumes operating at 70% occupancy. If it is less than 70%, then you are going to suffer a loss. It is considered 70% occupancy, then only it will stand good. Rate allows recovery of investment and basic profit margin. Whatever investment you have done, that will cover. Simplifies early stage planning before applying dynamic pricing tools. You don't have to think much. It simplifies only you find out the investment for the room, for construction and for furnishing. That's it. Divide it by 1000 rupees, you get the price. That is the simplest way to calculate. So it is known as a rule of thumb approach. Now let us consider Hubbart formula approach. What is that? This is much more detailed, so pay attention for this. Let us take one situation and understand this. Suppose Hotel ABC, a 200 room property, is projected to cost rupees 4 crores inclusive of land, building, equipment and furniture. That is the cost of the property, 4 crores. Okay, 200 rooms hotel. An additional 1 crore of rupees is needed for working capital, bringing the total cost of construction and opening to rupees 5 crores. So 4 crores plus 1 crore working capital, 5 crores. Okay. The hotel is financed with a loan of 4 crores 25 lakhs. It is financed at the rate of 12% interest, annual interest, and cash of rupees 75 lakhs provided by the owners. Owner has given 75 lakhs. We have taken loan from the hotel 4 crores 25 lakhs. Altogether 5 crores is coming. Now some riders. The owner desire a 15% annual return on their investment. How much they have invested? 75 lakhs. So on that 15% they want the return on investment. A 75% occupancy is estimated. That throughout the year these hotels should have 75% occupancy. Thus, how many rooms we are selling? 54750 rooms will be sold during the year. And calculation is based on 200 multiplied by 75%, 365 days. That you can simply follow 75% occupancy. You can follow for 200 rooms, 365 days. You can follow, these are the room nights. The hotel's income tax rate is 40%. Additional expenses are estimated as follows. Other than that, it has got some additional expenses and that is listed here. We got so many expenses out here. Property tax, insurance expense, depreciation expense, administrative expenses, data processing expenses, human resource expenses, transportation expenses, marketing expenses, property maintenance expenses, energy related expenses. All these expenses are there. These are expenditure for you already listed. Now depending on these, you have to calculate, apply the Hubbart formula to calculate the projected ADR. That means average daily rate. Step 1. Let us calculate the operating and financial inputs. Expenses and amount. Already you have seen a list of expenses, so I am putting them here one by one, calculating all the expenses. So subtotal of operating expenses is, this is the amount. Okay, 1,484 lakhs. Okay, fine. The first step is calculate the operating and financial inputs. Second is financial cost for the and the owner's return. We have taken loan of this 4 crores 25 lakhs. Interest is annual interest 12%. If you calculate 51 lakhs annual interest that you have to pay to the bank. Owner's required, he has given 75 lakhs. 15% interest is desired return on investment for the owner. If you calculate this 11 lakhs 25,000, that is a desired return. So this is your expenditure actually. So let us see this elaborately. Interest expenses 51 lakhs. Owner's return on investment is 11 lakhs 25,000. Total financial cost or load is 62 lakhs 25,000. Okay. So you have calculated the financial expenses, and this is also the interest and the return on investment for the owner calculated. Now we are going to step 3, total revenue needed pre-tax. How much? So while running a business, we have to earn minimum the operating expenses. Already you have mentioned this 1 crore 84 lakhs plus this amount, the financial. Okay, total is this amount. This is the total. The total revenue needed pre-tax before paying any tax. Now, if this is the amount needed, then the next step is to calculate the, to earn this. Ultimately, after giving tax, what will be our tax load? The goal here is to figure out how much total revenue pre-tax is required, so that after paying 40% in taxes, you are left with this much. That means this is the amount needed, and that means you are paying to bank, you are paying profit to the owner, this is your expenditure. So altogether this is to be earned. Depending on that, you cannot give tax, you have to earn more. So that after earning more, providing 40% tax from that, ultimately what will be remaining? That will be this amount of figure will be remaining in your hand. Then your business will be good. And to that you have to take a formula, pre-tax revenue formula. This is the amount divided by 1 minus 40%. And this is the figure. That means this is 13 lakhs, sorry, 13 crores, 44 lakhs, 160, 1,667 only. This is the figure. Okay. We have to earn this, and from there if you provide 40% tax, then whatever will be remaining in your hand, this is the amount. That means this amount will be there to meet all the other expenses, operating costs and the financial load. Clear? Now calculate the room nights available. Already it was calculated in the question. Total room 200, occupancy rate 75%. Then if you calculate the room nights throughout the year, 75%, this is 54750 room nights. These are room nights calculated already. Now calculate the ADR, the last step. Required revenue is this amount. Room nights is this. Then what will be your ADR? Average daily rate. Total number of revenues earned from the sold room divided by the Number of nights, this figure is number of nights means number of rooms. This is rupees 245.4. So your final result ADR of Hotel ABC projected through Hubbart formula should be rupees 245 per night. So this is the ADR calculated through Hubbart formula, and you have noticed that throughout the calculation we have not considered about the discount and all. We have only considered about the all the operating cost, expenditure and the financial load we are having. Everything is calculated, and depending on that the calculation is telling you that room should be 245 per night to meet all the expenses over there. Clear? Now we got three terms. One is rather two terms. One is a real-time ADR that we know, number of room, total number of revenue earned divided by total number of rooms sold in a specific period of time. That is a real-time ADR. And through Hubbart formula also we are getting ADR. What is the difference between these two? What are the features of these two? Number one, purpose. Real-time ADR will help you to track your performance because of real time. And our formula is basically strategic planning. That means before you start the business, you calculate, you estimate, and depending on that, you develop your strategy and planning. So our formula is based on planning, and ADR, real-time ADR is the actual performance tracker. Okay. Timing. This real-time ADR is calculated after the sales. Once it is sold, then only you can calculate. Obvious. Our formula is calculated before to get a strategic idea that what should be our standard ADR. Got my point? So it is before sales. Including discount. Real-time ADR is calculated based on the discounts because discounts given room sold, then only the real-time ADR calculated. But this However, formula ADR is not including any kind of discounts. That is the difference. Based on actual revenue, real-time ADR, yes. However, formula, no. Because we are not talking about the revenue, we are talking about to run the business, what will be our standard ADR, projecting. We are projecting something. Used for forecasting, real-time ADR you cannot use for forecasting because that is a real-time result for tracking the business. Yes, our formula ADR is based on the forecast. It can be forecasting is based on our formula ADR. Yes, so you can forecast accordingly. How much will be your sale to attend that ADR? You got my point? Ideal relationship between three things. One is the rack rate, Hubbart ADR, and real-time ADR. Rack rate is always greater than equal to Hubbart ADR, and Hubbart ADR is always less than equal to real-time ADR. You got my point? That is the ideal relationship. If it is not following these, that means your business is planning is wrong, or you have to find out the area. That is our revenue management. You got my point? Example wise, if your rack rate is 5,000 rupees and your Hubbart ADR is 4,600 rupees, so 5,000 rupees greater than, and your real time ADR is 4,700 rupees. You can see that it is following. 5,000 rupees is greater than 4,600 and 4,600 is less than 4,700. That should be your ideal relationship between this rack rate, Hubbart ADR and real time ADR. I believe now you are having a clear concept. What is ADR, real time ADR? How the rack rate is calculated by considering incremental cost and burden cost, and then what is your Hubbart formula approach. Okay. Now we have mentioned that most of the time hotels are once the rack rate is finalized, hotel is providing different kind of discounts to different category people. Then only the business real based on that the real time ADR is calculated. Let us find out what are the discounts. First question comes in our mind, why offer we offer discounts? To boost occupancy in slow periods. So if you give discounts, naturally people will be interested to come and book the rooms. Attract specific guest segments, that means corporate, staff, OTA, and many other segments are there. Encourage direct booking through apps. If you do the booking through our hotel apps, you'll get 5% discount. So that is a kind of encouraging direct booking. Stay competitive in the market. So if your room is unsold, that means you are a loser. So always keep discount so that you can attract the guest and stay competitive in the market. Discounts aren't just giveaways, they are strategic tools. Discount is not to satisfy the guest, but to get a business. That is our strategic tool. Okay. Now, what are the different categories of discounts? Let us find out. There will be promotional discount, there will be package discount, length of stay discounts, corporate and group discounts, loyalty and membership discounts, channel based discounts through different channels they are coming, event based discounts, etc. Out of these, we are going to discuss few with the example so that your idea about the discount will be very clear in your mind. Promotional discounts with example. Say type, what are the promotional type offer, what kind of descriptions offer is given. Example, rack rate we are considering 5,000 rupees rack rate because all the discounts will be based on this reference rate only. Early bird type promotion, that means book in advance, book at least 30 days early and 15% off. That is a matter of policy. Okay. Flash sale, limited time, say 48 hours promo, last 48 hours promo, 4,000 rupees, that is 20% off. That is a discount. 20% off based on this 5,000 rack rate. Last minute, close to check-in, book within 24 hours, will be getting more discount, 25%. Now you may have some doubt in this area. Suppose your room is not sold, that means you are losing the business. But if it is sold with some money also, you are going to earn something against that room. So that is the concept. So don't allow the room to go unsold. You try to accommodate the guest. So you are offering more discounts for the last moment check-in, 25%. Okay, people will be attracted to get that. Festival offers, different festivals are there, seasonal promotions are there, like Diwali special. Maybe your room per night is 4,250 plus dinner will be free for one person, right? So that will be a kind of promotion we can always adopt to give you the idea about the promotional discount. This is the way I have discussed. Now let us see package discounts. Package means what? The room is bundled with some services, perceived value. What is the package? Romance package, newlywed couple. What kind of package? We can provide room, dinner, and spa facility all together, all added values. Racket is 5,000. We are giving 5,500 per night. Okay, so we are attracting people. We are getting more revenue out of that. Only adding some services extra. Dinner and the spa is provided free. Weekend getaway, 2 nights with breakfast, 9,000 rupees. Rack rate, you remember 5,000 rupees. So if you get two and two on the basis of rack rate, it should be 10,000. We are giving 1,000 rupees discount, attracting the guests on the weekends. because normally the weekends people are not coming to the hotels. Family fun, that can be another one package. Room plus kids activities you can attach to that value addition. This is the price plus free extra bed for one kid. So this kind of package discounts we can offer. Length of stay discounts. What is that? Encourage longer booking with reduced night rates. Okay. What is that? Suppose 3 nights plus you stay in the hotel, you'll be getting 15% discount. And if the rack rate is 5,000, then your per night will be 4,250 because you are getting 15% discount on that. For example, if it is 7 nights and more, then you'll be getting 25% discount. And your rate will be like this. Then 10 is missing from here. 3750. Okay, not 375. Okay, fine. So with that, we have come to an end to this session. Thank you for attending this session. We have discussed a very important area starting from the cost, leverage, time and price, then incremental cost and burden cost, how to calculate the rack rates, how to calculate the price of the room by adopting different approach. Detail we have discussed about the Hubbart formula approach, and also we have discussed about different kind of discounts offered and how with some examples. I think the lesson is clear to you. If not, if there are challenges, please take care and put me questions there. If you have liked the session, click the like button, subscribe it, share it among your friends, and next week we'll be back here again with another one new session. Till then, thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.